Hello, my name is Trey Brown and I'm back with another YouTube video talking about preventing more sports injuries. Maintaining proper conditioning and recovery is vital to better injury prevention. Athletes who prioritize rest, hydration, and recovery experience significant fewer overuse injuries. According to Johns Hopkins Medicine Hospital, proper warm-ups and rest reduce strain-related injuries. While training strengthens the body, recovery allows it to rebuild and adapt. Many sports injuries, particularly overuse injuries, occur because athletes do not receive adequate rest between training sessions and do not fully allow their body to heal. And this can be deadly and lead to further on injuries that will mess up you later on. And another way that athletes mess up and cause more sports injuries is overtraining. Now, overtraining could mean going too far in the reps in squats or doing things that cause strains on your muscles and joints, which leads to muscle fatigue and decreased coordination and really ups the bar on injury risk. Proper warm-ups are fundamental but often overlooked prevention strategy. Dynamic stretching increases blood flow, prepares muscles for activity, and improves range of motion. Another way for helping prevent more sports injuries is cool down sessions. Static stretching helps muscles recover after activities. Hydration and nutrition also play a major factor in muscle function and tissue repair. Hydration is major and nutrition is major for preventing more sports injuries. Things like your diet, eating fruits, vegetables, and things of that nature, staying hydrated so that you don't pass out during the game, things of that nature will help you out very greatly and will allow you to perform at an optimized state, I should say. And according to Johns Hopkins Medicine, incorporating strength training, flexibility exercise, and appropriate rest days greatly lower the chances of you straining your bones or overusing your bones in growth, and you will not limit your growth. And with that being said, it's important to have good rest days and make sure that when you're going too hard in the gym for a couple days that you take time to greatly lower the risk of both acute and chronic injuries. And youth athletes, they're especially vulnerable to overuse injuries. Now, this is because their bones and growth plates are not, fully developed, and they're still developing, so they're less durable and lengthy and strong. So that takes a bigger toll on them. With older athletes, it's easier for them to know their body limits, manage things well, and have more muscle and durability and length. And it's often the case where older athletes have participated in multiple sports, and with participating in multiple sports, you gain a understanding of how the body works more in ways that you have to train so that you don't get injured. So that's also another reason why it's easier for younger athletes to get injured than older athletes. So that's something that needs to be looked at also. And with that being said, hydration, nutrition, rest days, it's important that you follow along those lines and make sure that sleep is a valuable thing for you, and that you should be getting at least 8 to 9 hours of sleep every day to help give your body time to properly rest, and so that you have adequate sleep. And with adequate sleep, it's been proven that you have a 20% chance of lessening injuries. This Research was also done by the Johns Hopkins Medical Center. And that's a big number, 20% lower chance of getting injured, and that's something that I think everybody would be glad to hear, that just getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep can help you prevent more sports injuries. That's something that is very valuable, and I think people should start doing. I myself have done that to help lessen my chances of getting injured while playing football and baseball, basketball, any sport that I do, really. And some people will try to not follow the grain, or some people will think that I'm too good and I don't need too much sleep, and just not have a clear path in mind, or go ahead and think that just because they can still do good with 4 to 5 hours, that that's okay, and eventually that will catch up to some people and injuries will start to appear more, and that's unfortunate, but that's just the reality of the game and sports and how things work in life. So sleep is very important, and you have to have preparation in knowing that things might not be in your control, so you have to increase the chances of you not getting injured. And with sleep, you have more efficient reaction times and people getting less sleep and more coordination. So with that increases the likelihoodness of you not getting injured. And I think rest policies should be put in place for each team from a youth age standpoint to like when you're an adult, even in professional leagues like the NBA, MLB, and NHL, NFL, and etc. Because you can never be too old to have enough sleep, and it's important. And proper sleep, working out, maintaining a consistent workload, not overstraining yourself, resting, proper technique, warm up. Those are the main things that will greatly help you during your time as a sports player. It will lessen your chances of sports injuries. Now, on the other side, some people could say some injuries are simply an unavoidable part of sports, because sports involves speed, physical contact, and unpredictable movement. And accidents can occur despite preparation, even with proper warm-up and protective equipment. Collisions and awkward landings may still happen, so it's not an easy fix, and it's something that we should really take our time to look at and understand deeply. But this argument differs between inevitability and preventability. Now, there's chances that you can still get injured by doing the right things. You get more sleep, wear more protective gear, proper technique, but the chances are greatly reduced, so it's best to limit your chances and do what's right, so that it's not a guarantee that you get injured, or it's not something that you could have did better or tried hard. So I think it's important that people realize the benefits of doing the right things to help you prevent more sports injuries. And I think it works out for everybody when they hear this information. And this is a topic that affects millions of people. Around 8.6 people in the U.S. annually get injured in some way involving sports. So I think it's important that everybody hear this information. This information is not just for a specific group. It's for everybody involved in sports. Parents, moms, dads, players, coaches, trainers, physical therapists, people, doctors. This is information that can take you a long way. And other ways that I didn't quite get to touch on for this was teams or players implementing, or organizations implementing neuromuscular training, conditioning protocols, and safety enforcement in experiencing measurable reductions in injury frequency. With conditioning protocols, this will help enforce more safety rules and make sure that people are not too gassed during games and that players are not doing something that they're not used to or having inadequate preparation. So it's important that players get good preparation and have things put in place so that the injuries are more preventable. And this is part of good planning and management, and this is up to the coaches and staffs and teams, trainers, everything to get these players right and make sure that they have things put in place to prevent more sports injuries. Now that is all that I would like to wrap up with, and I thank you for listening. Trey Brown here.